Alright, well that'll do. Well, when I'm working on my own farm, I buy seed 1 bag at a time, 100 pounds at a time, 100 liters at a time. But when we're doing the big contracts, we need to buy stuff in bulk. So for that, I come out here to the garden center, and we fill up the truck. Because honestly, we got this contract to do this entire valley in canola, and that's not going to happen 100-pound bags at a time. This is going to require some muscle. So we're pulling out the stops for that job. We got big equipment, got big tools, and we're burning a lot of seed and a lot of fertilizer. So Sim left early this morning. Well, this afternoon. We're not quite done with the job at the potato plant, but we got to move on. I'm going to be working into the night now, trying to catch up on some of Sam's work so that we can get this job taken care of soon enough. And for that, I brought in my favorite monster toy. That's right. You guys are going to be watching Mark play with the big boys. I do like to do this every now and then. I know I have a bit of a reputation for the crappy old Russian stuff, but that being said, yeah, I do like the power every now and then. You know, I know it's a little bit out of character, but you know, when somebody else is paying for the fuel bills, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just pull out all the stops and have yourself a good old time? Anywho, so let's see if we can pull that up to the truck here, and we'll get the nuclear minions to move stuff over and reload that stuff. Yeah, chewing it up a little bit, and then move forward a bit more, and right about there. Load up the seed. What I should set up is a couple of augers or something to move the stuff over. But I'd also like to have this truck, if it could get some, what do you call them? The small doors to be able to do it with. But, you know, you can't have it all. Let's see here. How are we doing? And canola. Still filling with seed. Takes quite a bit of seed this spring. Alright, let's give it a shot. Off we go. Alright. Close the door back there. Alright. And let's open her up. So I just need to finish off this last little bit here. Then reset the GPS. Get ourselves back up and running. One of the great things about this this series is that I'm getting to do it all, and that's really the fun part of it. Is that I've sort of liberated myself from having to stick to a specific storyline. Let's see here. Yep, still got my GPS course on board. Hang on a second. Let's just do this though, and turn that off. Turn that on. I need to make that a hotkey on my system. And turn that off. Good. So, okay, so let's turn on the seeder. Hit the GPS track button. And off we go. Let's see here. Right about there, I would imagine. There we go. And then it's all about selecting the right gear. I know this thing's got an automatic transmission, but I just turn it off to be able to select my own gear, because I find that its real happy place in terms of power is around 10th gear. So let's see here. And tracking, and down she goes. Beautiful. All right. So yeah, the sun's going down here in the West Coast. We're still in the first third of spring. I'm giving myself lots of days to do everything. I have to admit, I've already got about 70 hours into this map. It's really nice to be able to take your time and just goof off and just, you know, play. I'm just playing the map. So I've got everything over at my farm pretty much taken care of. Only job I need to do now that I've got the seed in the ground is I'm going to shoot everything with slurry one time. And for that I'm going to bring in a helper, a special guest for that. And once we've got that all taken care of and we've got the slurry all spread over the seeded ground, I'm going to do my last stage of fertilization as a spray, as a chemical spray. So that's just coming up. I guess you guys will see that tomorrow. But yeah, the home farm is looking absolutely beautiful. Really happy with how things worked out over there. Then once we get all this stuff all seeded and everything all fertilized, I think we're going to do a massive spray operation up here too to take care of these fields on the final stage. And then once I've got that done, then it'll be hay season. So we got a lot of grass to take care of. I'm debating how to do the grass over on my farm. How to package that for sale. Am I going to do loose silage or am I going to do wrapped silage? And I'm thinking wrapped silage because that'll make it easier for me to move it around. And I don't have a fermentation silo up there anyway. So I can just leave them on the side of the field for a couple of weeks and they will juice up and we'll find a place to sell them. I've already got an order for all the straw that I'm going to make out of the barley fields. That's all taken care of. I got a contract with the horse farm just over here from down in Little Woolhope. They're going to take all of my production of straw. So for that, I'm thinking they're going to need small bales because they're using it for bedding for horses. So we're going to small bale all the straw and sell it off. Hopefully I get I get a couple of people to come and help me with that, because stacking small bales can be a bit of a chore. But if that's what the client wants, that's what the client's going to get. Working on the details of that whole contract. And up she comes. Good. And back we go. Turn it around. Hit the contact on the GPS. And down she goes. There is a certain grace to working this size of machine. And when you're dealing with the scale of agriculture they're doing down here in the valley, I highly recommend it. Oh, one of the things that we ran into with Simulate last night. The ground frictions on the plows on MR are sometimes a little bit aggressive in terms of the way the soil is set up. I'm going to put a link in the description below that I was sent by Kerbo about how to reset the ground friction for plows depending on the soil type you have on your given map. Very informative link on FSUK. If you're not a member of FSUK, please join in. Those guys are a wealth of information when it comes to this stuff. Join it, participate, support it. When it comes to making mods and testing mods and discussing ways of improving this game, I mean, short of places like PCSG also is an amazing source for all those things. Those people deserve your support. So let's see here. Might just hit this little patch here on my way out. Let's see what we can do. There we go. Thankfully, this seeder is all controlled by GPS, and it's turning everything on and off according to what I need, not according to what I'm needing. No, not according to what I'm doing. So, actually, I wanted to refer you guys. There's a SimStation did a video last week about seeding in the Midwest, and it's a little bit dense in terms of the sheer volume of information that he gives you about why things are done a certain way and how they think about how the combine is going to be harvesting the field and all that. So, but I highly recommend that guy. I mean, I learn so much every time I watch one of his videos, though I'm rarely able to execute it on my own farms because, you know, it takes a lot of practice. I do try to do some of it. So on this map here, for example, I did do the headlands first because he's pretty adamant that that's how it's done. And I try not to overrun things too much. But I'm not doing corn here, we're doing canola. So because it's more of a, what does he call it? Not planted, but drilled crop. It's a little bit less critical because you're not dealing with rows like you would in corn. So it makes a little bit of a difference what you do for that. So what else have I got around here? I just got little patches. I think I'm just going to ignore those. The sheer volume of crop that we're putting into these fields is going to more than make up for any little patches that I might skip out on. So let's see, where are we at here? 80% and 91%. Fertilizer's 91% still, so that'll be fine. So let's just get ourselves over to the next field. Okay, let's see the shape of this one. What are we dealing with here? Alright, well this one seems to be lengthwise in that direction. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make my headlands tops and bottoms. I'm going to put in a double headland at the top, double headland at the bottom. Hang on, pull it into the field. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll do ups and downs, uphill and downhill. SimStation's going to be jealous. When he did this, he did it with a small class tractor, and it caused him no amount of grief in terms of ground. Somebody messaged me. It caused him no amount of grief in terms of ground friction, so the fact that I was able to fix that on this one is going to make a huge difference. Alright, so let's see. If I go all the way up and then I go minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that should be my 10th gear. So now am I going forwards or backwards? Forward. There we go. Okay. Off we go. First pass. Oh, there's a bit of a jog in the field here where these people live. Ooh. Alright, well, that'll change my plan a little bit. Let's see what we can do with that. So, how far can I go with this? A little bit more. And lift. Okay. Back it up a bit. Shove it over. I should just go back to the start, I think. Let me just go all the way back to the beginning of the field, and I'll make my second pass like I did the last one, just to keep it straight, because then I can just turn 90 degrees and I can not double seed too much on that bottom patch. But I need at least 2 passes of the seeder to be able to turn around when I'm doing my ups and downs, so we'll start it like that. There we go. Okay, perfect. And down, and okay, let's go. This is the tricky part. How do I keep myself at the right distance so that, see, I'm already too far over. So bring it over. I am, of course, a rank amateur at this, so I forgive myself no end of sins when it comes to missing patches and all that stuff. There are plenty of people out there who do this absolutely perfectly. I'm not one of them. So try to stay out of the bushes. Lift. Reverse. Alright, I may have pulled it a little bit too far this way, but that's alright. Let's go this way. And back it into the corner. I do like driving these articulated tractors for this kind of operation. It tends to really free you up. So this is where, if Sim is correct, the seeder will turn itself off around where the tractor is, around where we've already seeded, and it will only open up the seeders on the other side. And lift. There we go. Good. So that's done. All right, so I will take care of that other patch like so. Backing it up. And by the way, yes, I am running at 1 time speed because, because it's sunset. And there's nothing more beautiful than sunsets on the West Coast. And I do relish them and take advantage of them when I can. And this way, over here. And all the way in the corner. There you go. Yep. Oh, hang on, straighten out again. And back we go. It's a little bit tricky doing it with the wiggle butt on this articulation, but if you take your time and enjoy it, it's brilliant. All right, lower down, start her up, and off we go. And I'm going to go a little bit over this way because I'm going to cut across the bottom of this. One very interesting thing that Bullet Bill did with these fields is that he seems to have drawn them so that there's a fair amount of overlap between the field edge and the grassy area. So when you're doing it this way, you actually tear up a little bit of grass on the edge of the fields when you're planting. I noticed that the other day when I was plowing, that there's just a little bit of extra here and there. I find that super cool. But, you know, I'm easy to please. So, there we go. And this way. That should do her right there. Beautiful. Push that over that way. There you go. Follow it into the corner. All right. Right about there. We'll stop right there. Get ourselves lined up again. And we'll go up to the top of the field. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up to the top of the field using this edge here. And that'll become my first row. And then I can just do my headlands up there. Let's just gear it down a little bit. Come on. There we go. Ah, I can tell she's going to struggle a little bit with this. We just crank on the power to maximum. Yep, up and down the hedges is going to, up and down the hill is going to be a bit of a pull for her. But that's all right. It's the longest way of the field, and I think I'm going to gain some momentum on the downhill pass, so it's probably going to be just fine. Nothing quite like seeding at 7.5 kilometers an hour. Let's see here. Where is she in terms of gearing? Oh, no. Just down again. Take one more gear down. Let the RPMs build up a little bit more. And down one more. Down one more. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All the way up. There you go. Yep. Yep. Beautiful. Ah, seeding. It can be so exciting, can it? And right about there. That'll do her. Good. Let me just back that up a little bit. She's just going to fall down this hill now. And let's get her turned around. Come on, clutch out. Let's go. Really, eh? Turn down the throttle. Turn off the seeder. All right. And forward gear. Come on, up the hill. Wow. Yep, that's heavy. That is one heavy seeder. Come on, there you go. So in the end, what's causing me more trouble is not so much the friction of the seeder, but the aggressivity of the hill. It's a little bit steep when you get to this part of the country. So let's just back that up a little bit. Just nudge it over. Alrighty then. All the way back to the fence without hitting it, please. Perfect. Down she goes. And off we go. Alright, well, look at this valley. Look at how gorgeous this valley is. It's so worth taking your time and working up here and... Oops, no seeder is on. See, this is the kind of thing I do all the time. If you think it's all perfect, you'd be wrong. There we go. Let's just go back again. And right about a little bit more, right about there should do it. Yeah, sort of. Okay. There we go again. Like I was saying, beautiful scenery. Yada, yada, yada. So this entire valley, I can hardly wait. The only reason I'm doing all this is that I want to see this entire valley in yellow canola flowers. Just a thing, just for a thrill of it. So this entire valley, all the way over there to that beacon light over there to the transmission towers, is going to be canola, end to end. Around the road that goes from the pig farm to the sheep farm, those farmers are asking for wheat. So that'll be wheat up there. And then got grass near the cattle farm over there. And going to continue to do the potatoes for the boys up in the corner of the fields 1, 2, 3, and 4. So those will be potatoes. In carbon harvest season, there will be loads of work for everybody. I'm just going to cut through this field over here to finish off this row, because it's all part of the same group of people. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And let's back it up. And over this way, and then turn it around. Voila. Over here. Good. Oop. And up the hill. There we go. She's in the hedge. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Clutch is overheating, I'll bet. Okay, go all the way down to first gear and go. Pull her out of there. There we go. Okay. And then we'll back it up a bit. Just a smidge here and there. Whoa. All right. That's close enough for me. And off we go. Come on. Oh, wow. This hill is not going to help me out, is it? Nope. That's not going to be doable. Okay, well, looks like I am going to not go up this hill and head downhill instead. Up she comes. Turn it around. And we're gonna go down this way. I just gotta change my plan to deal with it. This is the thing with playing with MRs. You can either let it beat you and let it frustrate you, or you can just be constantly adapting your game and adapt your workflow so that it actually works. And I know that many people have said this, that the West Coast is not an MR friendly map because of the hills and because of the rolling of it. But with a few minor modifications, I disagree. I sometimes can't go the way I want to go. I sometimes can't plow the direction I want to plow. I have to adapt. I have to work according to what the curvatures of the fields are. But to me, that just ends up being more realistic. You can't dictate to the land how you're going to end up working it. You have to adapt. And there we go. Down she comes. And done. All right. On that note, I'm going to keep struggling with this. I'm going to play along. It'll probably be well after dark by the time I'm done this project, so we shall see. Tomorrow morning, I've got somebody coming to help me to slurry the fields on my farm. Just need them to cart some slurry for me because I seem to be going through it like gangbusters. But we will work that out. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. You have yourselves a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Happy farming, and we'll talk to you soon.